I can't tell you guys exactly how insanely excited I am. Like, the excitement right now for me is just ridiculously off the page, okay? It is absolutely off the page, and I don't care if they hit this video up because I played the Halo music, or at least the Lindsey Sterling and William Joseph cover of the Halo music, which is really good, by the way. If you haven't checked that out before, it's really good. I am so fired up right now about Halo, I gotta tell you. E3 was the other day, as far as the big one for Xbox, and I haven't reacted to this yet. At one point, you guys, I did a podcast. I was going to be doing a podcast about Halo, but Halo was just so dead that I just felt, even though I loved it, it wasn't worth doing every week. Now, let's go over a quick summary of my credentials, just really quickly for you, just so you know where I'm coming from a fan's perspective. When I was 16 years old, I believe it was 2001. It was 2001 November, and Halo and the Xbox came out, right? Mostly the Xbox came out. Now, in my high school, in the following 2 months, I would do a video games video where I asked people what their favorite games were, and I asked about 40 people. Not one person said Halo, not one person said Xbox, okay? So that tells you, for some reason, I don't know what the reason was. I think it was my excitement around Xbox and Bill Gates and what he was doing, that I just became an Xbox fan a year before it came out because I was just so interested in it. And I think that's why I got the early jump on Xbox. I'm not trying to like pound my chest like many people and say I was the Xbox fan first, you know. But the point is, I was obsessed with the idea of the Xbox since to the year 2000, I believe, since I first heard about it. And I had somewhat heard about the Halo stuff, but not really. I really didn't quite 100% understand until months leading up to the Xbox with the Halo Combat Evolved, and like, what does that mean? That's what they called it, Combat Evolved. And I seen this big figure, with a gun, and it seemed like it was pretty interesting, but I didn't know if I was gonna like it or not. At that time, I wasn't really into first-person shooters necessarily. I was into, like the Twisted Metals and the Metal Gear Solids and the Tomb Raider and, stuff like that, and Resident Evil and all that stuff for PlayStation, because I was a PlayStation guy, right? So, but anyway, so I got into Halo right from the beginning. So I'm going to skip all that rest of that story and leave that for another time, another podcast, where I talk about my feelings, how the series have gone, how Halo has been, how it's evolved and de-evolved in many ways. That's another video, but just so you know, I'm starting from the beginning. You understand that from there, I've been a Halo fan since the minute I opened up that Xbox in November. I skipped school to open up the original Xbox because I knew that I was 16 years old, and I knew that I'd gotten it for Christmas, and I was kind of an ass at the time. I was an idiot, and I stayed home from school, and I opened up the box, and it was just the most amazing thing. And I was... I'm a kid who grew up loving Mario, loving like Ninja Turtle games, and whatever, you name it. You name all the games that everybody knows. Like I played them and I loved them, all the way into loving things like Resident Evil and stuff like that, and Metal Gear Solid. And then I thought that nothing could ever top all of that stuff. And I was blown away by Halo. I couldn't believe it. And it's so weird because a whole generation has happened now after Halo has been good. So it's so weird because a lot of kids now, 15 and 14 and 18 even, a lot of these kids, they don't even know. Like, they think Halo's a joke to them. But anyway, Halo Infinite, let's get right into this. This is what I saw in the trailer. And what I saw to me was, it seems like they're going back to the old school artwork. And I don't know if this means that this is going to be some kind of prequel story or prequel game. I just got excited about the idea of the old look of Halo, the classic look of Halo. I really didn't... I've been saying this for a long time, and anybody who knows me could go back and find me saying this for the last 6 years. I have started... It all started after Reach. I want to say around Reach I started noticing it, but looking back, Reach was much better than the games that came after. But here's what I noticed. The maps became too insane. Right? A lot of the things that we loved about Halo were the maps. Halo 1's maps, they were awesome. Halo 2's maps were probably the best in the Halo series. Halo 2 nailed it. And Halo 3 was, again, for a lot of people, that was the best because they came on in Halo 3. A lot of new players started playing during Halo 3 who missed the Halo 2 days. And if you missed Halo 2 days, then I feel for you because that was the best time, man. It really was. And those maps had character to them. And even the Halo Reach maps to a point had character to them. So much so that in all the games following Halo 2, they would recreate the Halo 2 maps, the Halo 1 maps, the Halo 3 maps, because those maps were just the loved ones, the beloved maps. We loved those maps. And what happened is the game got really cluttered, I thought. Although the graphics were sick, right? And you're in a space station, there's lights going off everywhere, and there's things all over the place. I don't remember the names of maps after Halo 3. I couldn't name you maps, for the most part, after Halo 3. They look cluttered. They just look the same. It's very busy. It's very hard to tell what's going on. I feel that it's that way. That my eyes it's hard to concentrate on the damn game because of that. I mean, that's just how I feel. You know, you may feel differently about it, but that's how I feel about it. And, oh, my son's trying to get a stool here. Hold on one second. There you go. Dude, how did this even get in here? Like, somehow the physics happened. But yeah, so you felt that the maps, those just the plain maps that were easier to figure out. You know what I mean? They were just so much better. Like, you know, even just go back to any of those, the maps from Halo 2. They were much more memorable. You know, Coagulation. Even the ones that weren't so great, like in Burial Mounds and Desolation, Headlong, Colossus. You had Zanzibar. Lockout, dude. Like, all those maps are just ingrained. And now maybe it is nostalgia because now I'm 33 years old, and that's a pretty nostalgic time period, right? You know, 16 years old to whatever I was, for 50, I think I was 15 years old to whatever age I was, and playing with my friends. But the Halo maps to me just got way too busy and way too overdone, so that I basically never really remembered playing the maps and never fell in love with maps the way we did in the previous games. And in this trailer, we get a very scaled back. I mean, there's a lot of jokes being made about, like, hey, I thought it was a Safari game up until we saw Master Chief. You know, I thought it was Buffalo Hunter 3, you know? But, you know, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I hope that that's what they do in a way. I know some people said they weren't happy because then the story is weird to them. Like, what are they just going to ignore 4 and 5? And I know I believe they fired the people that wrote 4 and 5, which was, you know, it's weird because 4 and 5, they did a good job with ideas. I thought it was a good idea to have this sort of other enemies and some of the stories that they had, but they were just they didn't grab you at all. Like the first Halo, the second Halo, and the third Halo, you know, they all had good stories. You know, one of the things I didn't like about, I just always thought we should follow Master Chief. That should have been pretty much how they did it. They should have strongly followed Master Chief, and then they should have, you know, maybe gone on the side with some Spartan games, but they really should have stuck to, you know, keeping Halo, you know, Master Chief, the main focus. And, you know, and I think they made a little mistake too, even in Halo 3. Remember Halo 3 was, I mean, the slogan was amazing, finish the fight, right? They basically were trying to say, like, hey, this is probably the end. This is it. You know, finish the fight. You know, it's over. And I think that was a little bit of a mistake. Little did they know it was kind of like the finishing of the fight, because that Halo 3 game might have been the last one that was just like everybody was playing. Like before people left for Call of Duty or Battlefield and things like that. Halo 3 was, I mean, it was the last Halo game that everybody was on board for. And then Halo Reach, you know what I mean? It's funny because at the time I didn't love Halo Reach, but we were having fun playing it though. And looking back on it, I miss Halo Reach. We played the shit out of Halo Reach when I think about it. And again, I'll cover this in my other video, but going back to E3, I don't know what this means. Does this mean open world? Are we going to get open world here? Is this going to be Battle Royale? You know, is that what's going to happen? I mean, I do, you know, there's a part of me that really wants that, but only if it's good, you know, only if it doesn't. And the other thing about Halo to me, Halo has always been a game that obviously did its best when it was the one setting the pace, setting the tone. I think that's very important, Because remember, guys, before all this stuff, before Fortnite, before PUBG, before Battlefield, really, before Call of Duty was big, before any of these games were big, before Gears of War, before any other online multiplayer, when Halo was still pretty much the only one and everybody in the world was playing this game, and anybody who owned an Xbox, 90% of them were playing Halo online. That was it. Remember that time, guys? That was, if you're old enough, you remember the 2004 to 2007 time period. It was amazing. It was amazing what they did. And that was when Halo was setting the tone. They weren't trying to copy other people. But the minute that Halo started to try to be a little bit like Call of Duty or move a little bit like Call of Duty, that was when it lost its nostalgia, when it lost its character. And so this idea of going back, I love this, and people love this, and this is a very trendy thing to do right now. We're looking back on the 80s. We're looking back on the 90s. We're looking back on stuff. People are... Hollywood, I think, and entertainment, I think, is starting to realize that we have a craving for nostalgia, and that the people that love stuff like this in their teens and in their 20s are now 30 years old and might have kids of their own, and they have to sell it a certain way. They need to work on selling it to the new younger generation, but also selling it to the 30-year-olds like myself, anywhere between 28 to 40 years old, who we will buy this stuff. So I think they're doing the right thing there. But is this open world? When does this come out? I don't know. Do you know? We don't know. Nobody knows when this is coming out. And that was the biggest disappointment about E3. They told us a bunch of stuff that was really cool, but when is it coming out? When am I going to know about it? When am I going to get to play a game? I don't know. You don't know. That's the major issue right now that I have with anything, is that I don't know when this stuff is coming out. When can I play this? Is there still going to be a Halo 6, which continues the story of where Halo 5 was, and this is going to be some kind of side game? Or is Halo Infinite Halo 6? We just don't know. We have no idea. There's no date that popped up. And the fact that that's happening, I don't know what to say. I may go from happy to angry. I really believe that Xbox needs to clear this up a little bit better to let us know. Are we getting Halo Infinite? That's something coming in the next year, that's going to be sort of like a quick play game like PUBG or Fortnite? Is that what we're going to get? Or are we then also getting a Halo 6 in the next year or 2 years after that? Or a Halo 6 that's going to launch on a new console? Will this launch on a new console? There are so many questions, and that is my biggest complaint. But as far as the trailer, I was pretty hyped for it. I saw a lot of people like fake hyped for it, where I watched them and they were just like, oh my God, this is amazing. What are you talking about? You don't even know what it means. But the biggest takeaway is, again, the sort of the classic look. In an HD 4K time, which they promoted this as HD 4K, we are getting to take a look at how Halo's art was originally designed. You know what I mean? They didn't make Master Chief look like Super Shredder, and look like with this upgrade. They went for less is more in an HD 4K time period. You know what I mean? I love the idea of this, because I don't love Halo 4. I don't love Halo 5. I enjoy the online multiplayer on Halo 5. I think it plays well. I hope that the Halo games still play well online. That would be devastating if they played differently online. That would be like a shock to me. So I hope that really doesn't change that much. But, it's... I don't know. I just love that they went back to this, because right after Halo Reach, Halo really lost me with the look. The look of the game changed to me so drastically that it didn't seem like Halo anymore. It seemed like Halo Call of Duty. One of the last times I remember being happy about Halo was me and my best friend, who actually hasn't talked to me in 4 months, but me and my best friend, we were going to the midnight release of Halo Reach, and I remember there was a guy in line. He was just freaking out about the jetpacks. I believe Halo Reach might have been the jetpack one. That was when they released jetpacks. And this guy was freaking out so much, he was just like, jetpacks! And he was drunk. And we're in line, and this dude's hammered out of his mind, and we're waiting to get the midnight release of Halo Reach. And I'm just thinking to myself, this is great. Like, what a great time. Like, how fun is this that we're in line and for Halo Reach? And then one of the lowest moments was when we got Master Chief Collection, and I took a week off of work. That's how, I mean, really, I took a long time. I had a lot of time off work to take, but I decided to take work off, and then the game didn't work at all for that whole week for the most part. So that was so disappointing. But Halo Infinite, guys, what do you think? Leave it down in the comments below. What do you feel about this? I told you how I feel. I just love the nostalgic look. If they're going back to this sort of look, I really, really love it. And I'm coming from an old school perspective here. I suppose somebody who started listening and playing Halo and Halo 4 time and 5 time and went back to play the old games, maybe they don't. Maybe you're like, why don't they continue off of where 5 was? I don't know. Again, we don't have the answers, and I wish we did, but right now we don't have those answers. If you guys want to support me, I have multiple YouTube channels, as you may know, where I talk about different things everywhere. If you want to support me, head on over to patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Drop me $5 a month if you can, $1 a month, whatever you want to support the show. Obviously, YouTube isn't really funding much with commercials anymore and ads, and they also don't really push my videos out that much. So share this video with anybody you know that likes Halo. Maybe they'll like this podcast I just did. I don't know. More questions than answers in many ways, but they did reveal, of course, that Halo Infinite apparently will look with the classic style, which I love that. But yeah, hit me up on patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. This is JCS Gaming. Or Battle Royal Battalion. That is currently the name. I'm still working on trying to create a better gaming channel. So I hope you guys subscribe and follow what I do here. I may release this on my Corrupted YouTube channel as well. I have 3 channels on YouTube. One is for professional wrestling mostly, where we talk about wrestling there. I can't believe it. I do it. My second one is, of course, Corrupted Entertainment, which is youtube.com/Corrupted Podcast, where we talk about entertainment, news, crazy stuff. We do a lot of podcasts and over-the-top stuff, so if you're not a mature audience, if you're not into that stuff, you might not want to watch. It's for mature audiences only. I'm a psycho. And this is where I will put mostly all my gaming stuff, other than my Twitch streams, twitch.tv/Joe Cronin JCS on Twitch. So it's a mouthful. It's a lot of places to go, but I'm trying to give you a lot of content. So if you like what I did here, perhaps you'll like what I do everywhere else. And, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you hit the subscribe button down below, and you guys give me some feedback in the comments down below as well. And if you guys didn't catch years back, my State of Halo, you can check that video out if I still have it up. It's coming up now. If it's not up, it's because I couldn't find it. All right, guys, more stuff coming later. Some PUBG moments that I did the other day are going to be uploaded here, and I'll see you next time. Leave me some feedback down below and hit that sub button.